Hey there, thanks for stopping by to watch my video. It really means a lot, and if you hit that subscribe button, I'll be even more thankful. Now, let's get into the story. The door clicked shut behind her, final and sharp, like a sentence that ends before you're ready. No tears, no backward glance, just the steady, measured tapping of suitcase wheels trailing her down the hallway. She could have been off to a spa weekend, not ending 4 years of our life together. I didn't move, just stood there holding a still hot mug of coffee like it might anchor me. I'm Marcus Hale, 35 years old, working in Los Angeles as a product manager. Her name was Claire. She's 34. Once I saw forever in her. Now she's off chasing some kind of self-reinvention. We had real moments, tangible ones. Weekend brunches out of chipped mugs, impromptu night drives through Mulholland with no real destination. Sure, we bickered, over chores, temperatures, nothing big, but I thought there was a core, something steady between us. At least until that Tuesday night. We were out to eat, and she showed up looking like she had somewhere else to be, barely touched her plate. Her eyes felt miles away, and then she said it. I just need a break, 3 weeks, to think. That was it. Like we'd paused a movie, not reached the credits. I nodded, because I wanted to believe her. Her tone was so certain, like she'd rehearsed every word. Said she was crashing at her friend Nicole's. Her eyes shimmered just enough to look sincere. But it wasn't sorrow, it was calculated. I've worked in tech for over a decade. I know what a launch looks like. This wasn't an emotional crisis. It was rollout protocol. That night, once she was gone, wearing that pale blue outfit she usually saved for anniversaries, I just sat in the silence. No music, no TV, just my thoughts echoing louder than any sound. And then it hit me. She wasn't lost. She wasn't searching. She was done. This wasn't a break. It was an exit strategy. After a couple hours, I opened the bedroom drawers. Her perfume was missing, no pajamas. The makeup bag she never traveled without. Gone. This wasn't someone going on a journey to rediscover herself. This was someone making a clean break, thought out, precise. By the next morning, I braced myself with a strong cup of coffee and called Logan, my closest friend. He went through a divorce so messy he still drops his ex's name like a punchline. Get a lawyer, he told me. Straight to the point. Before this turns into a docu-series. He hooked me up with a guy named Ram Mendoza. Flashy office, tailored suit, that kind of smile that says, I win court cases. A few hours later, I was in his office, explaining the mess that had become my life. I told Ram everything. The vague talk about needing space, the overnight vanishing act, the suspiciously packed suitcase. He didn't even blink. Just leaned back and said, she's not leaving, she's launching, you need to defend yourself. So I did. I locked down my accounts, changed every password, froze our shared finances, made sure the apartment lease only had my name on it. This wasn't revenge, it was survival, but nothing prepared me for what I found next. While clearing out her closet, I discovered a drawer she always kept shut. Inside was a worn leather pouch. Inside that, photos, letters, boarding passes, all linked to someone else. 10 photographs, the same man in each. Claire beside him, laughing on a beach, cuddled up at a vineyard. One postcard stood out. Lisbon, 2019. Captioned, Just Us Again. Lisbon? Claire never even mentioned going to Portugal. Not to me. That's when everything clicked. Her 3-week soul search wasn't about Nicole or space. It was about him. By Thursday, the facade of her solo reflection trip crumbled. What I was looking at wasn't confusion. It was betrayal, international edition. My chest clenched, but instead of breaking down, I reached a moment of brutal clarity. And then I remembered. She'd recently gone on medical leave from work, said she was overwhelmed, claimed her therapist urged rest. I believed her. I made her tea. Watched her cry during a call to HR. Now I knew better. So I did what anyone in my shoes would do. I checked her iPad. It wasn't even password protected. Within minutes, I found it. A second Instagram account. Hidden, private, just 15 followers. Her latest post? Geotagged, Lisbon. The picture hit me like a gut punch. Claire, glowing in the sun. A man's arm wrapped firmly around her. The caption? Learning how to breathe again. I couldn't move. I kept scrolling. There she was on a boat. On a beach. Laughing over dessert with a man I'd never seen, but would never forget. Late 30s, smug face. Looked like someone who'd made cheating into a lifestyle. But the worst part, she wasn't mourning anything. She looked liberated. Then I saw the comment. Griffin Barrow, 79, my forever travel partner. Griffin. I didn't recognize the name, but I recognized the pattern. Suddenly, everything made sense. The texts at midnight, her tight grip on her phone when I walked in. The sudden password changes, the growing distance between us. It was all right there. Still, I didn't confront her, not yet. I knew better. Anger wouldn't win this. Precision would. So I contacted someone who might know more. Taylor, her friend from college, the one who always seemed to know the deeper truth behind every story. I messaged her casually. Want to grab a coffee? She replied within minutes. We met in Venice Beach the next day. She looked nervous, kept checking her surroundings, clutched her chai like it held some dark secret. I'm not supposed to talk to you, she whispered. Claire made me promise. Promise what? I asked. She didn't answer, just showed me her phone. Swiped through pictures, turned it toward me. There they were again, Claire and Griffin, different moments, same closeness, same intimacy. She said Portugal was for clarity, Taylor said softly, and that Griffin helped her find herself, whatever that means. I didn't flinch. I asked her one thing. Is Griffin single? Taylor hesitated, then shook her head. No, he's married. 3 years. Wife's name is Tracy. That was the moment the ground shifted beneath me. Claire wasn't just cheating. She was part of his betrayal, too. This wasn't soul-searching. It was a coordinated affair, and there were casualties. I thanked Taylor, asked her to send the photos, and told her to keep quiet about our meeting. Then I went home and started pulling everything together. One folder, labeled it, evidence, screenshots, emails, travel confirmations, photos, and then I found Tracy, his wife, a realtor, based in Southern California, public Instagram. Her bio read, happily married. Not long ago, their anniversary posts had been overflowing with smiles, Claire and Griffin looking blissfully happy. That memory clung to me like a shadow. I wrestled with what to do for hours, my thoughts looping endlessly. At last, I typed a message. Hi, Tracy. You don't know me. I'm Marcus Hale. I believe your husband and my wife are in Portugal together on more than just a trip. I ended with, you deserved the truth. I'm sorry. I included 5 photos as evidence, then I hit send. The following day was consumed by stillness, not the peaceful kind. This was the hollow quiet that follows when your reality fractures. I recognized it all too well. Then, at 11:04 a.m., the silence broke. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I paused, then answered. Is this Marcus Hale? The voice was fragile, shaken. Yes, I said. This is Tracy Adams, Griffin's wife. Her tone cracked, layered with hurt, disbelief, and fury. I could hear her breaking apart in real time. I saw the pictures, she whispered. But I needed to hear it from someone. Are they really together? They are, I told her gently. They've been posting from Portugal all week. I'm not sure when it started, but it's not recent. A pause. Then I heard her breath hitch, like someone had driven the air from her lungs. He told me it was for a tech conference in Lisbon, she said numbly. I packed his suitcase myself. What could I say to that? She had unknowingly helped him cheat more comfortably. We talked for about 20 minutes. Two strangers bound by the same cruel revelation. Oddly, in that painful exchange, there was a shared clarity. She thanked me for my honesty, told me she was going to take action. I wished her strength. An hour later, my attorney, Ron, called. His tone had an edge I wasn't used to. "Did you send the evidence to her workplace?" "I did," I confirmed. "Everything. Photos, dates, timestamps." "She's reportedly on medical leave," he said. "That's not true," I replied. Ron let out a slow whistle. "Big problem. Faking leave could get her fired and kill any leverage she has in court. No job, no support." "Good," I said. And I meant it. That evening, the fallout began. Claire called me 3 times in a row. I didn't pick up, but I kept the voicemails. "Marcus, please, call me back. Something's happening at work. They're contacting me. I don't know what to do." No apology. No mention of Griffin or Portugal. Just panicked pleading. Later that night, Tracy went public. She uploaded an unfiltered album to Facebook. No captions to cushion the blow. Just raw, undeniable betrayal. Every photo tagged Griffin Adams and Claire Hale. Caption: "This is betrayal. I packed his bag for a work trip. He spent it on the beach with another man's wife. You deserve each other. I'm finished." It caught fire online. Her co-workers saw it. Her parents saw it. Even our landlord messaged me. "Saw that Facebook post. You all right, man?" I wasn't just all right. I was vindicated. This wasn't vengeance. It was justice served cold. The next morning, Ron called again. "She's been terminated," he said. "Immediate dismissal. Company policy violation. Fraud." I closed my eyes and took a long breath. Everything she'd tried to hide was crumbling. I filed for divorce, changed the locks, and waited. 2 days later, she came back from Portugal. Alone. No Griffin, no tan. Just shame etched into every movement. She arrived at noon, dragging suitcases, face hollowed by regret. Her key didn't work. She pounded on the door. "Marcus, open up!" I walked to the window, holding the divorce papers. Cracked the window just enough to pass them through. "You said you needed 3 weeks. I figured it out in 3 hours." Her hand shook as she took them. Her eyes were swollen and red. "Please," she whispered, "let me explain." I gave her a cold smile. "There's nothing left to explain." And I closed the window. I watched her from behind the glass. Claire stood there, staring at the papers like she couldn't read them. Her polished image had unraveled, hair knotted, makeup streaked, lips cracked. She looked like someone who went to battle and lost everything to her own decisions. She knocked again, softer this time, almost a whisper of her earlier desperation. "Marcus, please, just talk to me." But I had nothing left to give. While she sipped cocktails in paradise, I had taken back my life. The apartment had been cleared of her. Her belongings boxed and shipped to her parents. Even the espresso machine she loved, sold. I wouldn't start my days with the taste of betrayal anymore. Next was the car, a leased hatchback in my name, because her credit couldn't finance a dinner. I'd already called the dealership. "Hi, I'd like to cancel the lease and schedule a pickup." No fuss. Just a time. Thursday, 3 p.m. That afternoon, I watched from the window, sipping coffee as the tow truck arrived. It felt like poetry in motion. The driver latched onto the car. Claire showed up as the car was being hauled. "What are you doing? That's my car." "No, Claire," I said through the glass. "It never was." The driver nodded and pulled away. The last remnant of her old life disappeared down the road like a hearse carrying her lies. She collapsed right there on the sidewalk, crying, trembling. She called me once, 5 times, then 20. I ignored them all. I curled up on the couch, wrapped in peace for the first time in months. That night, her father came to get her. He didn't speak. just stood there, eyes heavy, as she loaded her bags into his trunk. The look he gave wasn't anger. It was sorrow. Not for me. For her. It was the look of a father realizing the daughter he thought he knew had disappeared. And just like that, she was gone. But this time, she left with nothing. No job, no home, no car, no Griffin. Tracy hadn't just exposed them, she detonated their world. Griffin, I heard from Taylor, fell apart fast. When Tracy confronted him, he blamed Claire, said she manipulated him, claimed he was confused, the usual coward's script. He left Portugal early and came crawling back, begging Tracy to forgive him. As for Claire, she was discarded, like trash after a beach party. Taylor sent screenshots. Claire was spiraling. She called Griffin 27 times. He blocked her. Disappeared. She posted a vague quote on Instagram. Sometimes the darkest storms lead to the brightest skies. The comments were ruthless. Her co-workers dragged her. Old friends vanished. Even her distant relatives reached out, to me, offering apologies, including her cousin Jenna, the same one who once said I was too boring for Claire. A message popped up in my inbox. "Can't believe what she did to you," it read. "I'm honestly speechless. You deserved better." By now, her web of stories had completely unraveled. The sympathy she once stirred up? Gone. No defenders left. No one applauding her so-called healing journey. Her narrative, once so carefully curated, had finally collapsed under the weight of its own lies. And me? For the first time in forever, I could breathe. It was the morning after she'd left with her dad, bags in hand. I woke up alone, and for once that wasn't something to mourn. The room was still, peaceful. No judgmental sighs, no phantom arguments hovering in the air, no furious typing from her secret accounts. Just the soft clink of ice in my drink and a silence that felt like peace, not punishment. The disaster she walked away from, not my burden anymore. Claire had scorched everything we built just to chase a thrill in someone else's bed. And now? She was stuck living in the ashes, day after day. Her job finally caught on. The medical leave excuse, a flimsy mask for a luxury getaway. HR wasn't amused. They wanted their money back. Every last dollar she'd taken under false pretenses. She had no savings. Never did. The fancy skincare routines and overpriced smoothies she swore by, now biting back hard. Word is, she applied for unemployment. Denied. Apparently fraud makes for a poor resume. And Griffin? He vanished like smoke. After Tracy dropped that viral expose, their fantasy imploded. Griffin nuked his socials, changed his number, disappeared. Rumor has it he moved across town into some sterile corporate apartment. Tracy, though, she didn't retreat quietly. She kicked him out, filed for divorce, and made a TikTok about reclaiming her power. It exploded. She landed sponsorship deals, got a podcast offer, turned pain into platform. Claire? She was back in her parents' basement, fighting for Wi-Fi and dignity. She tried to mend fences, reached out to old contacts, claimed she made a mistake, tried spinning her Portugal trip as a mental health retreat. But the charm was gone. Nobody was buying it anymore. Too much betrayal, too much damage. Even her mom stopped answering calls. Her dad started billing her for rent, and Nicole, the imaginary roommate she was supposedly crashing with, she blocked Claire altogether. And me? I found peace. True, effortless peace. I went back to the gym, started sleeping through the night again, reconnected with people I'd lost touch with. Laughed like I hadn't in years. Full body, tears in your eyes kind of laughter. I took road trips with the windows down, music blasting, like I used to before our marriage turned into a cold competition of who could pretend harder. Then, about a month later, I ran into her. It was a quiet Sunday afternoon at the grocery store. She looked like a shadow of her former self. Greasy hair tucked under a baseball cap, swallowed up in an oversized hoodie, no makeup, no light in her eyes. Just the worn-out look of someone who'd finally been caught by her own consequences. She saw me, stopped cold. Her lips parted like she wanted to say something. An apology, maybe. Some last plea for connection. I didn't flinch. I rolled my cart right past her, didn't slow down, didn't even look twice. She was nothing more than a clearance item I didn't need anymore, and in that instant, it became clear. I never needed to shout. I didn't need to smash plates or demand closure. She thought I'd fall apart. Instead, I stood still while she fell to pieces, her fantasy shattered, her lies laid bare. Our story over. Thanks for sticking around. If this hit home, there's more like it on the channel. Until next time, take care of yourself. Sprosit ChatGPT.